Okay, so here we have Scix Maddix.
Yep.
Scix is a writer at Horror Buzz, but he's also one of the actors at Fear Factory.
Yep.
Scix, can you tell us a little bit about what you do at Fear Factory?
This is my 10th year at Fear Factory, acting, and been in management positions for the past few years. This year, my official title is Supervisor with a focus in training. And that's what I do. I train up the monsters.
Supervisor with a focus in training. Okay, so can you tell us a bit about what is coming up at the end of the month?
Yeah, we're doing Halfway to Halloween, which is something we do every year in one form or another. This is not our original planned date. We've pushed it back so that we can, honestly, so we can have someone show up. But also so we can do it safely and within the guidelines set by our governor and our mayor.
Okay, and what are those guidelines that you're being asked to perform under?
Well, there's sort of like a tiered set of guidelines that they're setting, and for our level, we need to strongly recommend that the guests are masked, but we can't we can't officially require it. But we will have masks on hand. We are going to require everyone to keep 6 feet apart, 6 to 8 feet apart, group by group. You know, if they all show up together, they're already in the germ bubble together. We're doing the actors, which is kind of my focus, will also have to be masked. Not just our normal scary masks, but a mask that covers mouth and nose. And sometimes that will be under the other mask. Sometimes that will be incorporated into the design of the costume. The vampires are honestly the biggest challenge to find a way to make that work out. But we have some ideas.
Oh my.
And we've got a scare from 6 to 8 feet away, which is new for us because getting in people's personal space has always been a huge part of what live actors in a haunted house do.
Mm-hmm.
But we're working on it, and I think we have a great show. But it means adjusting our techniques, and that falls to me to sort of analyze what works and what doesn't work, and figure out what is a good strategy within error and practice. With any luck, I'm making some good choices here in what I teach them. But I'm fairly confident we're gonna have a good show.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
It's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, it's like rethinking the wheel.
Yes.
Now, training. You
Yes.
mentioned to me that you're doing training, but how are you training people when you can't get near them?
Right. Right now, I'm doing a series of videos that we're sharing with our actors, and I'm making them myself. And like my first video, I had a bunch of Coke cans laid out like customers to sort of show the strategy of coming in at them from an angle, and how to scare them from a distance, and to practice timing, and you know, just working with what I have available. They're rough and ready, but we want people to at least be thinking about what's going to have to change. For Halfway to Halloween, we are just using experienced actors. We don't have anyone new for this particular thing. So they'll all be adapting strategies rather than having to start from scratch, which I'm pretty confident.
When are you going to be able to get on site and at least do placement and rehearsal?
We are until the opening weekend. We're limiting a lot how many people can show up at a time. So we're scheduling times when the leaders of each area can come in, look over their zone, their section, and figure out what's going to be the new placement, because we're not going to have two people in the same room unless the room is more than 12 feet wide, right?
Mm.
And there are just some changes. So we're scheduling so one or two at a time to come in and look at the place. We're not going to have full cast there until opening night, but we're going to be in communication with them. We're going to have videos. We're going to have diagrams. We're going to do our best to get it all in their heads before they show up.
Yeah. And so as an actor, how are you approaching a scare? How are you going to frighten somebody from 6 to 8 feet away?
Well, we've always had the ability to do that, and our strongest actors have always had that ability. So what we're doing is we're developing those sort of specialized skills. A lot of it's about how to use your voice so it doesn't get muffled by the fabric. There's some things we can do to help with that. How to be louder and bigger so you feel closer, and how to sort of adjust for timing and things. Truth is, it's going to be different, and we don't know exactly how it's going to be. We don't know exactly how the guests are going to react, but they will know what we're dealing with, so they'll hopefully cut us some slack if we're still adjusting. We'll be fine tuning all through both nights. I'm sure right up to the last hour, some of us will be fine tuning. So we'll be learning, and I'll be taking notes, and then we'll be training up for Halloween season. Some of these guidelines are still going to be in place, and some of them are not. But if we have these new skills developed, that will carry over regardless of the new situation. We're getting new tools in the tool belt.
That's actually really smart, yeah.
And it's honestly some of the hardest stuff to teach. I like the voice thing. It's challenging to teach, not in person, because the difference between a carrying voice and a regular voice doesn't come across on the microphone that well. And things like presence, which is like a way of coming across bigger than yourself. It's hard to do in the little window. Working really hard to figure out how to do this well, and we like I say, we'll be doing touching up and fine tuning throughout on site, and these are, up until this year, these are what I would have called advanced techniques, and I wouldn't be teaching them to the regular everyday actors, but only to the ones who are trying to really grow and excel. The ones who come to me and say, hey, how can I be more? How can I be bigger?
Right. So not just the vetted ones, but the ones who are engaged and interested and really want to. So what are the safety precautions for actors? You mentioned masks, under the masks, but what else is going on behind the scenes?
Well, from the moment they come on site, we're keeping everyone apart. They've got to be masked from the moment they come inside the gate. So even when they're waiting in line to get their makeup and costume, they've got to be masked. They've got to be separated from each other. The masks and costumes we issue will only be on one person. We're not, we're not sharing, which we normally don't do anyway, but we're being exceedingly cautious. We have sanitizing stations. We have things we're doing in the costume room. We're honestly looking at some cutting edge technology for sanitizing materials and surfaces. We've got extra staff who are coming in to help sanitize throughout the show. And we're staggering how they come in. So normally everyone comes in at the same time. They all kind of mill around. They stand in line. They bunch up on each other while they're waiting to get their makeup and costume. We're kind of staggering that. At least as far as I understand it now, the management and owners are still developing the fine details of protocol, and they're still researching um, some of the chemistry and technology that's out there. But it's good stuff, and I'm sure there will be more changes before we open than what I'm aware of.
Yeah, I'm really, you know, this basically gives us a kind of a peek into what Halloween might look like. So to me, this is a fascinating developing story. But go ahead.
I understand a lot of haunts are just choosing not to open this year.
Right.
And I can certainly understand that. We're fortunate that we have some very forward-thinking owners, and we're fortunate that they've been able to have somewhat of a rainy day fund, because this is probably gonna be financially a challenge as well. I don't know numbers or predictions, and I don't think anyone does at this point. But we feel that people are going to come out of quarantine just looking for entertainment, and we're going to be one of the few that are there for them. And we're going to do our best to keep everyone safe, including staff, including cast, and including guests.
Well, thank you for doing that, because all of us are so terrified we're going to not get a Halloween. It's nice to know that the actors are still trying, the haunters are still trying, and trying to come up with ways to scare us. So thank you.
I mean, to be honest, the entire industry is going to have to do a little bit of reinventing. Because like, even if they decreed that COVID was done tomorrow, we've had people I mean, this is a traumatic experience. People aren't going to want to be somewhere where there's a tight crowd anyway. Just to have everyone feel comfortable, much less actually safe, we're going to have to make some changes. Because I mean, if you look at some of the pictures we've posted previous years, we've got like 3,000 people standing in line, shoulder to shoulder. That's probably never, ever going to be a thing again. We're just going to
really.
Wow. I mean, that's my guess. I don't think. I think some of the changes that we're making are probably going to stay. I mean, that's my guess. I don't know the future.
Well, keep us posted as to what's going on over there, and we want to keep an eye on this. But again, thank you for being out there in the fog and scaring us. So
we're going to give it a good try.
All righty. Cool. Thanks.